Aloha once again. Welcome back. My name is still David, and we're still looking to go in our seventh direction. That means straight into us to learn ourselves better. And if we accidentally find out more about the universe and everything around us while we're doing that, so much the better, and we just might. That's one of the great benefits of living on the planet. Whatever the truth is of our nature, whatever this thing is that we're doing, it's going to be true for everybody, not just true for you. And so the things that you learn about yourself and the things that you learn about life as you go in your seventh direction will help give you some insight into other people. This is just another way in which taking time for yourself and focusing on these aspects of improving yourself, they're very important, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So as we talk about going in our seventh direction and improving ourselves, what do we mean? And literally, we're talking about improving our ability to make decisions, improving our ability to see what is influencing our point of view on things. We're all familiar with how dramatically just a change of point of view can change our whole lives. For anyone who's fallen in love, the previous day you were looking at life one way, and the next day you were looking at it completely differently in almost every aspect of it. So whether you call that chemical or hormonal or psychological or energetic or electrical or however you want to refer to it, it is most definitely a change of point of view, and it changes the way that you process information, every bit of information. All we're really talking about, and all we're going to talk about a lot in this series, is taking an idea like that and just riding it all the way to the end. We don't stop our interpretation of when that idea might apply to us. So as we look inside of ourselves, we look around and we, for most of us, when we are in our quiet meditative space, the first thing that we hear are the two voices that we all live with. And those two voices are the voice of action. You're usually doing something, and right alongside of that is usually the voice that's criticizing whatever you're doing. So for most of us, there's at least an inner dialogue. And for those of us who have other people around us who always feel free to offer their criticisms of what we're doing, we have those voices as well. So what we're looking to do is study the composition of how we see things. And since you can't really do that from inside the box that you built, meditation is helping to briefly take you outside of that box. When you are in that quiet space where you're not thinking, dreaming, or sleeping, but you are still focused and concentrated and aware, well, things will occur to you. You will see things and you will hear things. And that's one of the primary reasons to be quieting your other voices, so that you can actually be sensitive to anything else that you might be able to perceive. The biggest value of being in that quiet space is realizing that you still exist when you're not thinking, dreaming, or sleeping. If you're not doing any of those specific things that are more or less recognized as the states of consciousness, well, then what other aspects of you might there be? Right? You begin to realize that emotions are just a part of you, thinking is just a part of you, these different influences from all around you are just a part of you. And meditation is the practice of going through and beginning to see what these elements really are in your life, so that you can begin to change them, should you want to, so that you can interpret life differently, make better choices, and be happier. The reason that most of you who will be looking at this will be looking at it, the whole series of videos, would be because something in your life is something that you don't like. There's something that's not satisfying you, you're not feeling fulfilled, you have unanswered questions, and you're hoping to get some answers and more fulfillment and more personal happiness. Well, for every book, tape, or video that I or someone else might offer, we can only offer hints. The answers about the truth of you only lie inside of you. You will have to personally experience them for yourself. In order to do that, it has to be important to you. It has to be a priority. So this is why I talked about you have to carve out a space in your life, on a schedule, in a private little quiet space, in a mental space that's free of the rest of your stuff, for a few minutes a day every day, so that you can, like exercise, just work those muscles and improve your ability to be sensitive to what you really want. Your lack of satisfaction would probably come from just not being able to clearly recognize what you want in life, or if you have been able to recognize it, at least to see where you made choices that weren't in alignment with that. So my favorite sort of story to describe this idea of putting things in priority and making sure that you have the right kind of structure in your life is one about the master who goes and he speaks in front of a group of corporate executives. And the master stands up in front of his dais and he pulls out a big glass container, and into the glass container he begins to set very large rocks. And after he has filled this container until one or two large rocks are sort of sticking out the top of it, he says, "Room, is this glass full?" And everyone in the room looks at it and says, yes, that glass is full. And the master nods and he reaches down and he picks up a bag of pebbles. And he pours the pebbles all in around where it starts to fill the empty spaces in between where the big rocks had all spaces. And then he sets down the bag of pebbles and he says, "Room, is the glass full?" And now, of course, these are bright, westernized executives, and now they get the point, and they're, no, that glass is not full. And the master says, yeah, very good, okay. So he goes and he picks up a bag of sand and he pours the sand in all around until it has packed a little tiny spaces. And he says, "Room, is the glass full?" And now they think it's full. Yes, definitely it's full. Can't get another thing in there. And he picks up a pitcher of water. He pours the water in. He sets the glass down, the pitcher of water down, as the glass is overflowing like a big old sandy root beer rocky float. And he says, "Okay, room, what's the point?" And a young professional woman in the back raises her hand and she says, "The point is, no matter how full I think my schedule is, I can always squeeze in one more thing." And several of the other executives, men and women, all applaud that, and they think that's fabulous. And the master just sort of smiles and shakes his head and says, "No, actually the point is, if you don't put the big rocks in first, they're not going in at all." So that's what you're trying to do in your meditation. You really are having a life review, but it's much more than sitting in with your coffee. It's every morning and just thinking about things. It's actually digging into you on a deeper level. It's understanding. It's taking the one leap of faith that you need to take, and that is into you. that you are more than you look like when you see yourself in the mirror, and that what that is, what you are, is most definitely worth discovering, and that the experience that you're having here could change dramatically based on which rocks you keep in your glass every day. The best way to know that, believe it or not, is to smash the glass, so that you can actually get all the sand and pebbles and stuff out of the way, so that you can see what were the big rocks that were in there, that were forming the foundation of the life that you're living, and do you really want them? These are very useful things for you to know, things that can improve your life, things that can allow you to see things from a different point of view, make different decisions, and after all, that is the point of going in your seventh direction. So keep going. It will help. We'll talk again. I hope you're having a great day. Aloha.